So good morning everyone, happy Friday. If you're watching this on catch up, then happy weekday, whatever day it is. I hope you're all well. I just wanted to start off today just by thanking you all for being such a present space, for reflecting that back to me, and being such a supportive community and open-hearted. I think in these times it is super important to be able to hold space for ourselves, which then opens up an opportunity to be able to hold space for others. As I say, as we do this work, it is always for ourselves first. I show up on here giving myself advice in the hopes that you get something from it, if not all of it. It doesn't have to be all of it. And to realize that we are not human doings anymore. We are human beings. We have tried that way. We have gone down that path of, trying to achieve and getting things done with force. Now, there's this concept that I've been playing with recently, and it is power versus force. Power meaning frequency or vibration, and force is the old achiever mindset of, trying to force things into place, trying to all the effort that we put into things. And that's really come around. Yesterday I sat in the forest and I just sat there. Hi Steve, so nice to see you. Well done for being here so early. So yeah, I sat in the forest and I just listened. And I looked around this forest and everything was so still, silent. It appeared as if nothing was happening, nothing was moving, nothing was getting done, right? There was no effort, there was nothing. And I felt myself becoming the same silence, the same space. And even though everything was silent and still, and I looked around, there was nothing happening. Of course there was. The trees were still growing. The leaves were still doing their thing. They fall off. There was a ton of leaves on the floor, turning into soil at that precise moment. You see, no effort was required for anything that the forest does naturally. It all just does it out of vibration, out of frequency, because that's what it does. There was no efforting, no forcing of this. I've got to get this done. I've got to make I've got to make the soil with the leaves. Yeah, every time we go to a forest, there's always change occurring, right? So nature shows us that's available for us, to not have to effort all the time, and instead do things that really pull us out of our being, our callings. When I talk about what our callings are, it's something that just pulls you off the couch without having any effort or thinking or harsh trying to motivate ourselves to go and do the thing, whether it just be a workout, whether it be work, whether it has anything to do with any effort. And so I thought that was really profound yesterday, to just sit in a forest and know that everything was getting done, yet it seemed like nothing was getting done. There was no effort. I didn't have to watch the trees struggle. And yet we do this all the time, right? If we're living from the mind, we're often forcing ourselves, motivating ourselves. What if we just gave in and just was with our feelings for a while? So if we're with our feelings, the things that we often avoid and intensify from being avoided, what could that mean? What could that bring up for us? Because as I notice, the more I stay in my feelings instead of resisting them, feeling the sadness, feeling the anger, feeling the whatever it is, instead of judging them and being like, I shouldn't be like this, I've noticed a profound shift in my elevation, in my frequency, in my entire being. How quickly that can transcend without me wanting it to transcend quickly. Allowing myself to just be stuck, sad, angry, whatever it is. Even happiness, you know, they're all coming and going, they're all passing through. But we try and cling on to that happiness, or we try to cling on to that feeling, whatever it is. Instead, we can just feel the feeling instead of being in the mind trying to figure it all out. So when we say we're dealing with our feelings, to me it sounds like we're doing something about our feelings, when in truth all you need to do in order to be in your feelings is to see it. So as soon as your awareness sees it, you're healing it. That's dealing with your feelings. Not having to go out and, you know, try and change the outside around a situation that you think that the feeling is connected to. Actually going within and just seeing that you're hurt, just seeing that you're sad, that is actually dealing with your feelings. That now brings your awareness to it, which raises your frequency, which raises your vibe, your vibration. Okay, now your vibration is able to see it and not avoid it. So something I quite often do when something has hurt or triggered me is I try to hold a space of compassion for the other person. I do this very well, actually. I don't try, I actually do it very, very well. And sometimes that's me bypassing how I'm feeling about that particular thing in that moment. So imagine your inner child, or imagine a child if you have kids, or if you don't, just imagine a child comes up to you and says that they're hurt, that, you know, and maybe someone pushed them over in the playground. And you just came to them and said, oh, now we got to hold compassion for, you know, the person that pushed you over. Totally bypassing the hurt that the child feels, right? That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if you have this tendency. That is still not looking at your feelings. You can have compassion, but it first starts with yourself. Okay, so this is really quite profound when you realize that there may be something underneath that feeling that you think you're feeling. So just being open and questioning. I hope this is making sense, guys. Because what's trying to happen in this new world is those old systems are trying to be taken out of you. The old way. You'll notice that things aren't working the same right now. Maybe your addictions are getting stronger, but they're not having the same effect, and therefore that's why they're getting stronger, right? So if you're addicted to Facebook, if you're addicted to food, if you're addicted to you know, TV, Netflix, whatever it is, you notice they're not having the same effect. You're not getting that same feeling you used to get from it. That's because they're trying to leave. They're trying to make it suck for you. The universe is trying to purge all the filth that just doesn't sit right in you anymore. The things that don't serve you. Right? So we just have to sit in our feelings. You know, that's really uncomfortable at times. But know that discomfort is the way into comfort. Because what is our comfort zone anyway? Another concept to me that is very strange. We say our comfort zone all the time, but actually the comfort zone is super hard too, because it means that we have to stay, you know, we might be familiar with it. I prefer to call it the familiar zone, right? Because we might be familiar with it, but it's not comfortable. We just know, we're just more familiar with those uncomfortable patterns. We're just more familiar with, you know, that way of feeling a bit rubbish. So if any of your addictions are getting stronger and more sucky, then know that it's because they're trying to fall away. And the thing is, something new is coming through, and that might be scary, that might be uncomfortable, but it's always better than you can imagine, because you can't measure what you'll gain, you can only measure what you'll lose. So you can say, oh, I'll lose this thing and that thing, but you have no idea what's going to come in for you. And if you did, then it wouldn't be great, because when you're vibrating at a certain level, what's trying to come through is higher, is past that vibration. So you don't want to be able to see it, because otherwise it's still at the same level that you're on. If you're seeing things coming through, still on your same vibration or lower. So welcome it with open arms. So, you know, meditating has been a game changer for me. I've really got serious about it the past few months, and meditating nearly every day for at least 30 minutes. Most of the time it's 40 to an hour. And the silence is the magic where everything comes through. So we're going to do that now, and I invite you to do this throughout your day, even if it's just 1 minute, in between maybe coming home from work, you know, transitioning into different spaces of time throughout your day. So we're going to do this together. We're going to listen to the space, listen to the silence, and you're going to hear that little voice tell you maybe that you're not doing it right, that you keep thinking, you're going to go off on a tangent, and know that you're doing it perfectly. This has to happen, and this will happen repeatedly. Eventually you come to a time, if you can sit there long enough, you'll feel super uncomfortable, and that's when I want to get up and walk away, right? But that's when your feelings are being seen, and things will reveal themselves to you that you would never have seen otherwise. You wouldn't have been able to, right? Because you're so caught up in your addictions. Awesome, Steve. I'm so glad it is. And it's relevant to you because it's relevant to us all, Steve. You're not alone. This is happening on a global scale. It's all being revealed. So, take a deep breath in. We're going to just sit in silence and hear that voice, and notice who is the one watching that voice, who is the one hearing that voice, because it isn't you, that voice, right? If you're the one watching. Okay. Close down the eyes if you haven't already. And tune into the breath. Feel the sensations. How is everything feeling today? No judgment. No right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Right or wrong is just an illusion. It's right because you're feeling it. Just notice everything around you, everything that's not around you, in your mind. Connect with all that is. Everything you can think of and everything you can't think of. So everyone, just take a deep breath in. Notice how you're feeling now. There's a shift in your vibration now that you've just stopped. You've put down your weapons of worry. Maybe worry is coming through. Maybe anxieties that we've pushed away. Maybe they come into the surface, and that can be painful, right? Uncomfortable. So we pick up our phones, we put Netflix on, we go to food. And life's trying to get rid of that for us and making it so sucky that we have to go within, that we have to just sit. I can't remember whether it was the electricity guy, was it Thomas Edison? Might be somebody else, but a great inventor. Tried so many different ways, 1,000 different ways of making the light bulb. And it wasn't until he just sat and meditated, fell asleep actually, that the idea just came to him. That's what's trying to come through. But we have to get through all the muck first. It's coming up for us that we've done so well. We should give ourselves a pat on the back for how well we've avoided and not seen our feelings or heard ourselves, heard our inner child. That's what's trying to come up for us, and there's no way of avoiding it now. Just know that the things that aren't working anymore like they used to, it's for a reason. It's for you to go within, and you'll know in your body within a second. And then the mind comes in and starts to talk you out of it. You know, that why it's a bad idea. The body will tell you things within a second. Your intuition kicks in, but then your brain kicks in straight after, telling you all the reasons why not to. And that's not your highest calling, right? The second part is always going to talk you out of it. So when we follow that first hunch, let's go to America. You know, that spontaneous feeling that you have no idea why, and then your brain talks you out of why it's a bad idea, why it's not a good thing. So we're all in this shift together. I want you to know you're not alone. We're all one. Alone is simply all one. Alone, all one. That's why we can all resonate with this on some frequency. We're all on different frequencies, but the same stuff is trying to come through for us, right? We're trying to elevate in this time, and it is service to you and service to humanity to do this work. So again, I can't tell you how much of an honor, how much of a privilege, how much I love being here and doing this work with you. I love sitting and meditating and bringing these shifts to you, and it's welcome, it's available for you all, okay? You know, I'm not special, I'm just me, and I'm just connecting more and more with the now, with not going into the future, not going into the past, and it requires patience and understanding and so much love. So have love, patience for yourselves, you're worth it. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Please leave in the comments below anything that resonated, anything that came through for you in meditation that might help us all. You're doing amazing work, and I am so proud of you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Bye guys.